Shotgun to wrap, change control. Every schedule problem starts as a paperwork problem. If you've ever watched a day's call sheet quietly drift, then suddenly you're chasing approvals at wrap instead of planning for tomorrow, you already know why change control matters. Schedule shifts, holds, and reshoots don't fail all at once. They fail in small, boring ways. One department hears a different time, one asset gets relabeled, one shot gets marked done when it isn't. You need disciplined change control that you can run while you're still moving fast. This chapter gives you a repeatable method you can use on commercials, episodic, or feature work, the change control loop, so your day stays stitched together instead of unraveling in the background. You'll set up the loop with the materials you already use, your call sheet, your schedule pages or boards, your production tracking sheet, and your version document naming. If you use software, even just shared spreadsheets, you'll apply the same control steps there too. What change control looks like when schedules move. Change control means you treat every scheduled change like it needs a controlled update, not a casual message. When production says we're moving the scene earlier or we're holding until picture locks, you don't just pass the news. You capture the change, you confirm the impact, and you publish a single, correct version that everyone can follow. For Priya 29, a coordinator for commercials, this shows up constantly. A client review runs long, a wardrobe change triggers a continuity reset, or the prop house can only deliver at a new time. Priya's job isn't to stop change. Priya's job is to keep change from multiplying, so the shoot stays safe, on time, and trackable when you start getting reshoot requests. Before you run the change control loop, gather 4 things and keep them consistent for the whole shoot: your current schedule document, the one you treat as the truth, your change log, a simple tracker, spreadsheet or sheet, a single publish point, email thread, call sheet version, or shared folder link, your status tracking method, shot list status, scene progress, or department notes. Practical takeaway: if you can't point to the one document everyone should trust, you don't have change control, you have a rumor mill. The change control loop for schedule shifts, holds, and reshoots. The change control loop keeps you from getting blindsided by the knock-on effects of a single decision. It also gives you a way to prove what changed, when it changed, and who got it. Use this loop every time you hear a schedule shift, a hold, or a reshoot request that affects call times, scene order, locations, or deliverables. 1. Record the trigger in your change log immediately. Write down what changed in plain language. Hold on scene 12 until client approves VFX temp, or move wardrobe fit from 9 o'clock to 10:30. Add the timestamp and who told you. Why this matters: you can't manage change you can't trace. When someone asks later, you need a clean answer that doesn't rely on memory. 2. Classify the change by impact. Mark it as one of these: timing change, call times, travel windows, shoot order, work scope change, what you're actually doing, shots added/removed, gate change, a hold tied to approvals, picture lock, or asset readiness. Why this matters: timing changes break the day. Work scope changes break your tracking. Gate changes break your plan unless you control the unhold moment. 3. Confirm the affected items before you publish. For each change, check the specific areas it touches: call times and crew arrival windows, location windows and access times, talent availability, craft schedules, wardrobe, hair/makeup, props, camera, shot list status rules. What counts as done today? Why this matters: the same change can hit multiple systems. If you only update call times, you can still wreck the shot tracking. 4. Update your schedule truth and label the version. Edit the current schedule document and rename it with a date/time version stamp, for example, schedule 2026-06-081430. Why this matters: version naming prevents wrong file chaos when people download the earlier copy. 5. Publish the update once, with a short, specific message. Send the update to the same distribution list each time, and include what changed: one sentence, effective time, starting tomorrow or effective immediately, the new call times, key times, what stays the same. Why this matters: long messages get skimmed and lead to misreads. Short messages get followed. 6. Lock your status rules for today and reshoots. Decide how your team should mark progress while the schedule is unsettled. For example, if you hold, mark impacted shots as held, not done. If you reshoot, mark them as reshoot requested with the original take reference. Why this matters: you protect tomorrow's workload planning from today's confusion. 7. Verify receipt with a quick check, not a hope. Ask for a single confirmation from the people who must act on it: production, assistant director, locations, department heads as needed. Use a simple reply OK or a quick sign-off in your tracker. Why this matters: you catch misunderstandings before they become missed calls or wasted setups. A small but important rule: run the loop even when the change feels minor. If it affects arrival, access, talent, or what you count as completed. It needs control. Practical takeaway: every change gets logged, classified, validated for impact, updated in the truth document, published once, and enforced with status rules. Priya's setup. Run the loop in a real-day commercial scenario. Here's a concrete example you can copy. Priya receives a client note at 2:10 p.m. that triggers a hold. The client needs an approval on a product shot clean plate before they let VFX touch the final composite. Scenario inputs: current schedule truth, schedule 2026-06-08-1300. Today's key times: crew call, 8 a.m., scene 12, product clean plate, 3:30 p.m., scene 14, VFX composite pickup, 5 p.m., change received, 2:10 p.m., hold scene 12 until approval. Do not start VFX composite pickup at 5 o'clock. Materials Priya uses: a change log sheet with columns, timestamp, trigger, change type, affected items, effective time, publish version, status rule, the schedule truth document, a single publish message thread to AD, production, locations, and department leads. Run the change control loop 1. Record the trigger, 2:10 p.m. Priya logs, client note, hold scene 12 clean plate pending approval. She records who told her and the exact effective timing, before scene 12 start. 2. Classify impact. She marks it as gate change, approval gate, plus timing change, because it blocks the 5 p.m. pickup. 3. Confirm affected items. She checks, scene 14 crew needs, VFX team and camera pickup, location access window for the pickup, talent call dependency, if talent only needed for scene 12 or both, prop continuity notes for the product setup 4. Update the schedule truth and version it. At 2:25 p.m., Priya updates the schedule and saves as schedule 2026-06-08-1425. She changes, scene 12 call from 3:30 p.m. to TBD, held, scene 14 call from 5 p.m. to TBD, blocked pending clean plate approval, adds a swap, scene 10 B-roll pickup at 3:30 p.m., only if the setup and location still work, 5. Publish once with specifics, 2:30 p.m. Priya sends a type message, hold scene 12 clean plate, client approval. Effective now. Scene 14 VFX pickup moves to TBD. New call, 3:30 p.m. for scene 10 B-roll pickup. Crew call remains 8 a.m. tomorrow as scheduled. 6. Lock status rules for today. Priya instructs tracking to mark, scene 12 shots as held, no done marks, scene 14 shots as blocked, not completed, any scene 10 progress as completed only when the slate/notes confirm it matches the shot list 7. Verify receipt, 2:35 to 2:45 p.m. Priya asks for reply OK from AD and locations for the updated call and location window. She checks that VFX team knows they're not starting at 5 p.m. Expected outcomes: crew arrives at the correct time for the swap, 3:30 p.m., instead of waiting on a clean plate that can't start. Your shot tracking stays honest. You never count scene 12 or scene 14 as done when they're held/blocked. Tomorrow's plan doesn't collapse because you protected the status rules and versioned your schedule truth. Completion check: did you log the trigger with a timestamp? Did you publish one version schedule truth document? Did your tracking reflect held/blocked versus done? Common breakpoints that quietly break your day. You don't need fancy process. You need to avoid the few failure modes that show up on real sets. 1. You update the call times but skip the status rules course. You publish a new schedule, but you keep marking shots as done because you ran the slate once or because someone said we'll fix it later. Do this: mark impacted shots as held, blocked, or reshoot requested in your tracking the same time you publish the schedule version. Use one rule: if the shot depends on a gate, approval/asset, don't mark it done. Not this: we'll adjust the paperwork later. That later becomes a scramble when edit needs it. 2. You send the change in 5 places and people follow the wrong one course. You update the shared doc, then you text someone, then you email a different link, then you resend because you added one more detail. People end up acting on the older version. Do this: pick a publish point and stick to it. Publish once with the new version name. If you must send follow-ups, reference the exact version label. For example, use schedule 2026-06-08-1425. Not this: it's basically the same, just earlier. That basically turns into a crew member showing up at the wrong door. 3. You treat holds like they'll end on schedule course. You log the hold but you don't control the unhold moment. When approval lands, nobody knows what to restart, what needs a reset, or who owns the restart call. Do this: create a clear restart trigger in your change log. Unhold call must come from production with updated effective time. Before you restart, rerun the loop, confirm affected items and publish the updated truth version immediately. Not this: we'll start again when the approval comes in. You lose time because you don't control the moment work becomes valid. Quick warning signs you can watch for. People ask, which schedule are we on? Someone marks shots done during a hold. Your tracker and your call sheet disagree about today's scenes. Practical takeaway: change control fails when you separate schedule updates from tracking rules, and when you let multiple truths exist at the same time. Closing: make change control part of your daily wrap-up rhythm. When you run the change control loop consistently, you stop chasing symptoms. You start catching the first signal of trouble, before crew time gets wasted, before tracking gets corrupted, and before reshoots turn into a second production because the first one wasn't documented cleanly. Keep your loop simple and strict. Log it, classify it, validate the impact, update the version truth, publish once, enforce status rules, and confirm receipt. That's how you keep today from quietly breaking tomorrow, especially when the schedule shifts, holds, and reshoots hit back-to-back. Change control loop checklist: use every time a hold, shift, or reshoot hits. Log the trigger with timestamp and who delivered it. Classify the change as timing change, work scope change, or gate change. Confirm affected items, calls, locations, talent, department schedules, tracking rules. Update the schedule truth and version it with date/time in the file name. Publish once with a short message: what changed, effective time, key call times, what stays the same. Lock status rules for today: held/blocked/reshoot, requested versus done. Verify receipt with a single reply: OK. AD/locations/owners who must act. Rerun the loop when you unhold or when the reshoot request becomes confirmed.